We are a small town, probably 1,200 residents altogether. We're located, of course, in upstate New York, about 20 miles, actually 20, 25 miles from the Canadian border. We don't have any large industry here. Most of it is farm. We have a couple stores in town, small mom and pop stores. Everyone in the town that works has to travel 20 to 25 miles. We have a lot of correction officers that travel farther to go to work. So it's a pretty poor town. And so yes, at first it seemed like a blessing that we could get this money, but then it was like, once you research it, you realize it's the devil's money. So we just went from there.
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned previously, they come into town and they go around and meet with landowners who have a lot of land, talk them into leasing their land to them for a price. And my understanding is that each leaseholder can negotiate their own price. There's no set price. If you're a good negotiator, you can get more for your lease than some other people. Once they have enough area covered, then they come to the board and say, have we got a deal for you? And they present their plan and what they can give the community, and what is, how much they're going to give back, and the jobs they're going to create, and so on and so on. Now the town of Hopkinton has opted out of the real property tax law 487, which means that we have opted out of exempting projects. Any project that comes in, they can't get a pilot. They have to be full assessed. So that was our first issue. So they tried to, get us to overturn that. And that was done even before I really got involved. So, and then, they come, like I say, they attend every board meeting, and they give their input about how great these projects are. They have their leaseholders at meetings, saying how great it is, and and then they go on and tell you, if because one of the issues with our citizens, not so much the money, but the eyesore, so then they promise the good neighbor agreement that, if you're located within so many feet of one, that they do a lease with you as well, and that good neighbor gets funds too. So a lot of people bought into that. The group that formed the Concerned Citizens for Rural Preservation, of course, were deadly against this. So they started attending all the meetings. And they would bring articles from other towns that have gone through this and, what they faced. Well, of course, there were, if you've watched the YouTube videos, you can see there was a lot of going back and forth. But they wanted to increase the size of the turbines. So we had to, I think originally it was in the original law that we're supposed to be 325 feet. So we agreed and we increased it to 500 with the new law. Maximum height was 500. Finally agreed on a setback and of 2,500 feet from the property line. Company insisted it had to be from the residents, and the advisory board felt that no, that wasn't fair. And there was concern with the sound. So after hearing all these concerns and hearing people say yes, they wanted it, no, they didn't, I thought, okay, let's survey the people. We can't, this isn't, we couldn't do a vote on it because the state doesn't allow that, they don't recognize that vote. So I developed a survey. I sent it out to all the Hopkinton residents. Town of Parishville was also involved in this, so they took my survey and sent it out to their residents as well. Once I got everything back, I tallied all the questions, typed up all the comments, and distributed it to the advisory board and to the town board to review. Of course, the CCRP people were bringing in article after article. We went and met with several towns that had already in Chateaugay area that already had the towers, spoke to them, you know, what would you do differently, and so on and so forth. From there, we developed a pretty good plan. We met with I always met with the school and the town of Parishville. We always met together when we met with the wind company, because we found out that they were telling one town one thing, me another, you know, so they were playing us back and forth. So we always met together, which the company didn't like that. I think I mentioned previously that with the original wind law that was done back when they first approached us, when they were called Iberdrola, we had to submit a map of the overlay zone of where the turbines would go. Well, when that was filed with the state, the map was not filed. So when the wind company realized that it wasn't, they came back with us with this, oh, wonderful, we can expand this area. And part of that actually was in the Adirondack Park. So I wasn't really too concerned about that. But we finally, we developed a new map, listened to the people, had several public hearings, and just, like I said, we had an issue with a couple board members who got involved with the company on the fire department end, who wanted it. They were actually voted out of office. 2 new people came in. So we were able to finalize a good local law with good sound, good setbacks, no pilot agreements. And at the final meeting, when we took the vote, the company asked me to increase the height to 700 feet. Of course, I just laughed and said, I can't get them to agree to 500. You think I'm going to increase it to 7? So the board passed the law. And like I said, a couple months later, we got a letter saying that they were withdrawing their project. So I think what the main lesson I have is, don't listen to everything they tell you. You have to do your own research. Go to other towns, talk to people there that aren't leaseholders, and find out what their feelings are. And I mean, I did several of those trips. So that's basically, I mean, we didn't really, I can't say we beat them, but we put in a good law that they didn't want to follow.